All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Orb on the Movements of the Earth, episode 8. All right, good job, Yolenta. You solved the puzzle.
You did.
And don't worry, those two scary people right behind you.
Yeah.
They are...
Those thick JoJo-looking ass boys coming in with like the eye patch and the double scars.
Yeah. And then the other dude that's just like, hi, I am a very stable person. Yeah. Also, I am very big, and I could definitely hurt you.
And I'm not afraid of death anymore.
Right. And you don't have to be either.
In a lot of ways, these two are the scariest looking bros to walk up. They have like barely any relationship with each other at this point too, so they can't even really vouch for the other. And so they're just gonna be like, hi, would you like to come like meet us on a mountain in the dark late at night? Like, we're gonna discuss the truth of this world. Yeah. And she's gonna be like, actually, you know what? Yeah, it'd actually be great to be taken seriously for once.
Since the dawn of time, is this a date or a serial killer? Like, you know?
Who's to say? We'll
Girl, I'm off to see if I die or have a fun time. All right, have a fun time.
Yep, exactly. But hey, we got a trio.
We do.
If they actually like spend time like focused in on this, I think this would be a pretty strong trio as far as the way in which they'll balance each other out, focus on the things that they can discover and learn.
And it definitely won't cause drama with a certain inquisitor person later down the road.
No, he's going to be very approving of the throuple that they're about to start. No, in all seriousness, the idea that Novak is her father is just so delightfully juicy and filled with potential drama.
Yep.
I'm very excited for us to get to know him more through her. So yeah, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Yeah, not me, no.
Definitely
please don't
not.
hurt me. I just delivered it here, yeah.
He didn't say.
Yeah, so we can talk to your master.
Right, just so you can pass him a message.
Yeah, we just need to communicate with him.
Yep.
Oh.
With your master.
Yep.
Yes. Keep the foxy.
She knows about Occam's razor. Oh. Right. So cool. Yeah, this is sanctioned. It's okay. Right. Yeah. Good, you're saying all the right things. Okay.
観測的事実をもとに仮説を立てた。おや、地球儀とは珍しい。触っても？
ええ、どうぞ。
もし仮に彼らの言ってる馬鹿げた仮説が広まってしまったら、
そりゃ大混乱でしょう。
Kind of surprised there's a globe here.
Yeah, me too.
もし仮に今従っていること、信じているもの、見ている現実、その多くが嘘だったら、
Oh.
この世界は本当に動いてるとしたらどうだ？
は？やめてください。これは不適切です。
我々は正しい方向になど導かない。目指すのはただ一つ。真理だ。
Oh.
お引き取りください。
Yeah.
Yeah.
では、ああ、大丈夫だ。あの顔を見ればわかる。女性だから。いや。
No.
研究者だ。
I was gonna say because she's a scholar, because she desires knowledge, she desires to learn, she desires the truth.
Right.
もしかしたら異端と関わったことで私まで魔女扱いされるかも。
Yeah, it might already be too late.
でも、それでも言わなきゃ。神様はこんなことお許しにならない。
Well,
And they told you where they'd be.
皆も承知していると思うが、私はもうじき死ぬ。
ooh.
今我々人類はプトレマイオスの宇宙を受け入れている。だが大衆が納得しようと、我々だけは真理の探求を諦めてはな。
Well, well, well.
Okay.
Cannot believe it.
異教徒の神話にイカロスというものがいる。ローの翼で太陽を目指し墜落したものだ。ローが溶けるという父の警告を感じた無知に。
Yeah, the desire, the curiosity is not a sin.
鋼の翼を作り。
And since I'm about to die, it doesn't matter if I do something risky.
今あと一歩足りていないのはその無謀さだ。真の宇宙を完成させるためイカロスにならねば。そこで何をしている？
Ooh, cool.
ピアスト様、いや、この姿はですね。
研究会になぜ参加しない？
主任や他の方々にも参加を許可
Yeah, and he doesn't know about that.
女だからか。差別されてる。女は黙って学ぶべきで教えるべきではないと取れる箇所もある。
それは
Is that what you think?
それ
Yeah.
は本当に真理なのでしょうか。
Ah, nice phrasing it that way.
いえ、もちろんそれは。
今の我々に正しい読み方ができている。
Right.
Therefore,
見せたい論文があったら持ってこい。コルベではなく私にな。
okay. You have a key. You have the means. You don't need to necessarily present this then. You can focus on your own.
And these people
pursuit
can
of
help you
truth.
find something to present because he doesn't have long. So
ご主人は何と？
主人はいません。
Awesome.
ヨレンタさん、我々に協力していただけますか？
はい。申し訳ないのですが、
Hmm.
私は天体の資料を自由に閲覧できる立場じゃない。ただ、天文の研究所に席はあるので、その中から協力者を紹介できる。
Cool. He would have an in.
ピャスト博です。
awesome.
Perfect.
キャスト博。
That's huge.
あなたが働いてるのってあのピャスト博の施設ですか？
That Abbey? Yes. That count?
Right.
ヨレンタさん、この件はすべて。
Whoa. Nope, we're out.
あの方ならあらゆる資料を閲覧できる。
That flies in the face of him having the credit.
Yeah.
今の天動説を超える完璧な天動説の証明に人生を捧げてる貴族だ。
Ah.
この機を逃したら主導説から大きく遠ざかる。
Right. He's exactly who you'd need in order to actually make it go like the distance.
確かにピャスト博は誰よりも天動説を重んじてる。
So if presented with enough evidence over the course of time,
right,
in trying to perfect the geocentric model, we could end up having him conclude that heliocentrism is more the way to go.
Got the bullshit.
Immediately like, wait.
Yeah.
Ah.
Okay.
Right. Oh. Oh. This is gonna eat at him, though.
You wanted to stay? No, okay.
No. He's gonna think about this. He's gonna be like, did I really just... Oh.
Gotcha.
Oh,
yeah.
The same curiosity and desire for the truth that... Whoa.
Damn.
There is only one Piast in the world of astronomy.
Right.
Meaning he's all alone. I mean, with his mansion and, wealth and
exactly.
everything.
He's done very well for himself, but...
More like things have been done very well for him,
Yeah.
Just to have one out of gold. Ah, nice. Oh, a very good open-ended question. Ah. Let them pinch their useless noses.
Nice.
Damn. Just the ability to say that as a statement.
You answered very correctly by saying audacity.
Yeah. Ah.
Okay.
And it's never been perfected because you can't solve those imperfections with the model you currently have.
Right.
You need the audacity to shed it.
Well, and maybe also because it's being kept as a singular person, leading it.
Wow. Like he just got here, he's...
Use it well. Okay.
This is a good man. Like, are you going to learn from this guy too?
Giant leap. He believed in you. Like,
don't become the nearsighted fool then.
Saying exactly what his dad said wouldn't happen.
Wow.
Yeah, he still has it. Nice.
Nice, quick little backstory. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So now we have to convince him that this is the audacity you're looking for.
I think he's already convinced.
Probably, right?
All right.
Okay, Yolenta is a part of the crew, kind of. We've got a situation of if she ends up becoming a problem for them, Botany will absolutely throw her under the bus without hesitation.
Yep.
But because now she's connected them with Count Piast, we now have a reason as to why they actually wouldn't necessarily want to do that, because then they could get his retribution. But even if they have everything go really well, the main thing that's at play here is that Piast has devoted his entire life to proving the Ptolemy geocentric model.
Right.
Which is fun because the question is, was the resulting thing that you ended up focusing on, the perfection of that model, because of the restriction of the church that you then became afraid of over time, and you lost the desire to bring audacity into the research? Or is it that, maybe you couldn't really focus on the right, answers or what have you, because the model you're working with just doesn't have the capacity to be solved that way.
I feel like there's definite possibility for the chicken or egg question in that, like, if the research of something other than geocentrism, right, is heresy, then you wouldn't get people exploring that thought process. And so then that, like, they wouldn't even necessarily know that it's because of the church's influence, right? Because that's us thinking about the fact that it's actually, like, the geocentric model is wrong.
Well,
right?
so no, that's the difference between knowing something versus actually doing it. The difference is that they literally made the astrolabe with pagan knowledge. They use pagan knowledge all the time. They use the theories of it, but they don't ever present them as fact. They don't ever point towards them there. But they absolutely do use the research of those with, heretical stuff attached to it.
Right, and then they just keep that a secret, basically.
No, they just don't use it. They just don't do it publicly. It's the point that a lot of the stuff that Piast has here is only available to be viewed by certain people. And so when they then talk about these things, we talk about them, very, like,
we're the ones with the privileged information, basically.
Yeah.
And so as a result of that, you can have the information involve things that, certain organizations might not like because, well, guess what? Only like 3 people are going to ever know that information, right?
Yeah, and when they do know it or use it, they're using it to support the current stuff for the most part. But the idea that they have brought up in the characters' discussion here with Piast and Yolenta, the difference between pursuing the truth versus, pursuing out of your, I don't know, maybe your predisposed interpretation of the scriptures, for instance.
Sure.
Is really fun because he's obviously like, no, but those are,
the scripture
is
the
truth. Same. Truth is the scriptures and the scriptures are truth. And it's like, okay.
Right.
But at the very least, then you value truth in like an objective, total sense. There is something independent of observation that is truth. And it's, whoa. And that's radical thinking just in general.
Sure. But then the way that, you would have a scholar who's like, okay, I'm going to look at the observable world, for what it is, while at the same time, having an unyielding belief in the scriptures is, well, we are fallible people, and so what we, interpret from it or glean from it, that doesn't necessarily, that could be wrong, right?
Yeah, and it's his responsibility as a researcher and a scholar to seek that out.
Yeah, seek it out and safeguard it and, and all that stuff, right? And so now, even though it is something that is directly flying in the face of your entire lifetime's work.
Right.
There's the possibility that this just might, they might be onto something.
Yeah. And do you have the audacity to let them go and let them explore that? What's really fun about this is that I find this story the most fascinating of if he's like, no, I understand that I might be wrong. And I do want to give you the freedom to end up exploring in this way. Because clearly Yolenta is the same young, bright, talented, maybe even nervous for stepping out of their bounds within society that I was when I was younger.
Yep.
And I want to encourage that. Not because it proves something about myself here, but because there's an emotional connection to that of, oh, I remember that feeling. I remember being in that place.
Right, where no one would support you, and it's like, oh, but I want to do this thing. Well, okay, I'm in a position now where I can support that person.
Yeah,
so
I am in the exact same position that the professor was in. Right. I can hand the golden astrolabe
exactly
in equivocation through my research materials that I have access to, through my private materials that maybe even some of the men here don't have access to, or only specific ones do. Yeah, this is very exciting. And also, now that Bodni is more directly a main character in the story now by him talking with Yolenta and not just talking with Oxy, which I really liked the way in which they spoke to each other. There was very much this, Bodni is trying to pull out the passion from Yolenta and see if it's genuine.
Yeah.
And once he's able to do that, he's like, oh, I'm 100% certain she wrote this whole thing here. I suspected, but I'm going to bring up all this stuff that are general, astronomy people even wouldn't know. These are the theories of the pagans, the theories of the old, those that wouldn't even follow the church's teachings.
She's not just an assistant.
Yeah, she's not just an assistant. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so then even when she tells them to leave, he's like, we're leaving.
Yeah.
But that's fine. Because, it makes sense, right? If you have something that's this big of a bombshell, or it's like, hey, we're basically wanting you to completely upend not only society's way of looking at things, but the thing that you have dedicated your life to studying, that's not going to happen in the middle of a conversation. If it happens as a result of even one conversation, you are really good at talking to them, right?
Yeah, or they are not necessarily the kind of person you should trust, really.
Sure, that is also a possibility. So now we also address the maybe more complicated issue of not can we research this stuff, but okay, we research the stuff, then what? Right?
Right.
Put it in another, stone box somewhere on a different hill,
I mean, that's the fun part here is that from Piast's perspective, as he gets older, he probably doesn't care as much about the publishing as much as he does the pursuit himself and getting some answers himself with regards to he's probably lived long enough to be able to tell with the Ptolemaic model if the imperfections within it are there because that's part of God's creation, or if it's just the math ain't mathin'.
Right.
And I need either a young mind to come in and show me what I'm missing here.
Yeah.
Or I have such belief in my own abilities in general that there is something wrong with this model.
Right.
And I think that he is absolutely not in one camp or the other. He is in both. He is with the way he talked to the young men at the table that he's like, I want to perfect the model, but let me bring up the scene there. It seemed like he was very much just realizing that the audacity that they need.
Right. It kind of felt like with what we end up learning later, that he's hearkening back to his youth of right. That audacity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he calls it complete a true model of the universe, meaning that the one that they have right now is not true. It is wrong. There is something about it that is actually
it's
wrong.
Flawed. Right. And so it's I'm getting old, I'm slowing down and things like that. I might not have that same fire that I used to have, but that is what's needed here. Yeah. Right. And so then that also makes sense. Another thing that this is just a personal interpretation. This doesn't have to be the case. But with the previous guy that took him under his wing, it was I have this library of research that only I am able to view. Only I am able to peruse it. Right.
Right.
And as a noble, totally makes sense.
Sure.
But here we see him basically being effectively, I'm guessing, having opened up a lot of his stuff to these people,
to these young men,
as the I know that this is something that goes beyond my own ability, and so I gathered a bunch of brilliant minds here to fix this, to figure out how to solve this problem.
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly what we can interpret here is that they are here because he wanted to create the same environment that made him succeed in this area and do it with a multiplicative, number.
Right. Or another way of saying it, he had the humility to realize his own limitations.
Sure.
Right. And so here, when someone comes along and they, are audacious, right? They put forth the thing that he's like, okay, really? You know who you're talking to, right?
Right.
It's still something where then after he leaves, it's like, right. Okay, yeah, this is what I'm about. And so even though I don't like it, even though I'm a stubborn old goat by this age.
Well, yeah, because it'd be frustrating to realize that 40, 50 years later, this whole thing that you put your heart and soul into was a dead end.
Right.
Or maybe it was not a dead end. It's just going to be a springboard for the actual true model.
Right. You were figuring out how to basically logic your way forward when you had a false premise, right? And so it's like, oh, shoot. All right.
But now, because there's so many people that have hit that point where they're like, there's something that's got to give.
We're all
here.
running up against the brick wall and trying to knock our heads through it.
Your efforts might have actually contributed to that, but it definitely will contribute to this if this leads to something.
Which I want to say, this feels like also a fun sort of diagram for what progress can feel like, because you can be butting your head up against the brick wall for 10 years or whatever, right? For a long time, and you're like, why am I not making any progress? And then, oh hey, something comes along and it suddenly clicks, and then you make a bunch of progress in a much shorter amount of time, right?
Very quick.
And it could be easy to look at those 10 years as being like those 10 years were wasted. And yeah, from a purely theoretical standpoint, if you had just known which way to approach it from the beginning, maybe you could have avoided that. But well, that's not how it works, and so maybe that's what you needed to do to get to the point where then you
would have been open to look at different.
You look away from the brick wall, and you're like, "Is there something else?" Yeah. And then, oh hey, it finally clicks. But
and I love that whole thing, that the heart of a scholar in this episode, that all the people here are devoted towards the truth, and there's something in the truth that's almost capital T kind of element here, in that all these people are underneath the church,
right?
But the idea that the truth is something that they pursue in some ways even more so than the tenets of their faith and their religion and their church, because it's something that is independent. It's something that is immutable. It does not have. It does not have it does not have the burden of interpretation like the scriptures does.
Sure.
It's either it is the truth or it's not. It's just that's got to be like the most euphoric thing about being a scholar, is when you stumble upon something that, like, after tons of tests and everything, is holding completely so fast to things it almost is mathematical.
I'm sure that's why a lot of people, that, not even talking about scholars of ye olden times in this slightly different earth and all that stuff, but also just people nowadays, where it's I can deal with something where it's not subjective, it is objective, assuming of course that our understanding of the bigger picture is right. Cool. I can know, like the engineer can know that this is how much weight this bridge can support.
Right. And usually when it comes to the sciences, you don't fully go into objective truth, but you go with using the current model of 3 dimensions and gravity and
Newtonian physics.
Physics, this is objectively correct.
That's what
then you wouldn't make the point to say that. So it's kind of funny that in a lot of ways, that's why I wanted to add the point of the capital T here, is that these are religious scientists, in that there is an aspect to pursuing truth that to them is akin to finding like God or
which has got to feel pretty wild to have something where in this realm of faith, basically, right, where it's a bunch of intangibles and stuff. Numbers go burr, and that gives my brain the happy feelings, right? Like, isn't that cool?
Look at the math. It's doing it. It actually
connects.
Working. It works.
Yeah.
And then they're looking at the Ptolemaic model, and they're like,
it doesn't work.
It's great. It's beautiful. It's very like unique. But the math, it doesn't hold up under scrutiny after a certain point.
It's the prosody skit of the, that's pretty good. Yeah, I know, right? Wait, pretty good.
Pretty good. What do you mean? Pretty good.
It must be perfect.
Inquisitors? Get this man. But okay, Piast looks like he'll be our benefactor, and if this is where the arc is going right now, this might not be just an arc anymore. This might be just the main story.
Oh yeah, I think that we're probably going to have a decent bit of time where they end up working with him. Everything's going fine. Eventually he dies, and that's probably when it starts to, fall apart. And then it's okay, cool. We have enough connections, research, whatever, that now we can go to the next stage of the rocket and continue to be on the run from Novak, as he doesn't realize he's chasing his daughter.
Given he has no heir and he's all disconnected from his family, his heir could end up being one of the three.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And imagine if it's Yolenta and Novak's suddenly like, wait, so like you got a house. No, Dad, I got like a library, a house, a missive, like an entire school.
I'm not even thinking Novak in that situation. I'm thinking of all the other people that are like, okay, so she got given all of this stuff and got named inheritor. How do we still convince people that she's a witch? Because we want that stuff. Like,
I mean, yeah, that's probably where it could be kind of tough. And then maybe she doesn't get it, and it's more the...
Yeah, he sets up a thing of this research will continue, and no one else really knows what the research is. But you know, they're able to
keep it a secret.
Yeah, they're able to keep working, and then
maybe he gives them jobs specifically.
Yeah, exactly.
That could be it. That could be it.
He puts them in touch with another noble somewhere else.
I would think that you're right, that this whole little happy coincidence of them all meeting each other probably falls apart pretty quickly after he dies. But I would love to see how long he lasts once that like little fire of excitement and discovery gets birthed in him.
Oh yeah.
But all right, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. So if you have anything that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.